My name is Dr. Jennifer Berman. I'm a urologist and sexual health expert. And I'm talking today, I was just reading this article actually this was in Goop, it was also in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. Is the female Viagra revolution finally here? An FDA-approved medication called Addyi, A-D-D-Y-I, or the pink Viagra. So I remember when this drug first came out back in 2015, and there was a lot of hype about it. They were calling it the pink Viagra and the horny pill, and this was going to be the solution. Men had their little blue pills, and this was going to be our little pink pill. Well, the reality is that it was met with some confusion, the media and the press, because when they first started talking about the medication, there was a black box warning at that time that you couldn't drink alcohol and take the pill, which to many seemed counterproductive, because if you're wanting to have sex and you're going out to dinner and you're having drinks and whatever, and then you go home and you can't, you can't drink and have sex, that was counterintuitive. Also, at the time, when the media was reporting the results, the way that they defined the results was an increase in satisfactory sexual events. And that doesn't sound too promising. And this was a pill that you have to take every day. So women are thinking, why should I take a pill every day? I can't drink. I don't know if it's going to work on me. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That was another. And it makes you tired. So fast forward now, there is no black box warning. Thanks to the amazing Cindy Whitehead, who is the founder and creator of this medication. And I just found this brochure, frustrated by low sex drive, it could be hypoactive sexual desire disorder. So the reality of this medication called Addyi, I'll give you the lowdown. It is FDA approved in pre and perimenopausal women right now. Cindy's working hard to get this drug approved in menopausal women as well. But the interesting thing about it, and why I'm talking about it, is because I'm sure you've heard me like vigilante chanting about hormone replacement therapy. I feel like I'm a hormonal balance phenom queen myself, all about hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, menopause revolution, hormone. But one of the main symptoms that women experience during perimenopause and menopause is low libido. And really the way that we've been trained as healthcare professionals is that the treatment for that is hormonal. Usually testosterone, or the combination of estrogen and testosterone, or DHEA and things like that. Well, Addyi is not a hormonal medication. In fact, it works within the brain and central nervous system to increase dopamine, which is in the pleasure reward center of the brain. The dopamine, so it's released. And it increases dopamine, which enhances libido and orgasm, by the way. And it also lowers serotonin levels. So decreasing serotonin, increasing dopamine enhances libido. And this is, but here's the thing, and I've taken this medication, by the way. I've taken everything, absolutely everything that I prescribe my patients, recommend to my patients, I have tried. Every single other thing for hormone replacement therapy, and for this one, for low libido, that is off-label, on-label, I have tried. This is a safe and very effective medication that works within the brain and central nervous system to improve libido. So what does that mean, increasing my libido? If I take this pill, how is that going to change from how I feel now to more? Well, here's the thing that I've learned over decades of talking to women about libido or desire. Sexual desire is a very subjective thing, to feel horny or to feel longing for sex. The way I feel and the way it manifests in me is different than the way it manifests in you. You can talk about it in the words that you come up with that are familiar to you to describe this feeling, but I don't know you or what you're feeling because I'm not in your body. Same with me. So it is a very difficult endpoint to measure and quantify. It's not like 1 to 10 or it's this high or this high, because it's a subjective experience. So based on that, what Addyi does is it increases a woman's receptivity, willingness, or interest in being sexual. So it's not like a horny, lusty feeling. What it does is it quiets the frontal cortex, that thinking, doing, the brain that's going, da, 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 I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and I gotta take the curtain, and I gotta do the paint, and I forgot, oh, and now we're supposed to be having sex. So turning the brain off from that thinking, worrying, doing, da, 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 to sensing and feeling is a reflex. And most women have learned how to do that over time, but not all. Many women have difficulty shutting off that loop that's going on in their heads on demand. When so-and-so guy walks in, or husband walks in after a long day and kisses and then expects you to drop everything and have sex with him. So that's the difference, is that it makes us, in those moments where sexual cues are happening, our partner comes home, we're out to dinner, we're in a situation, we're watching a romantic movie, and those thoughts are creeping in, it makes it easier for us to push them aside and focus on the task at hand, being task-oriented. Men are way better at doing that, at being task-oriented, than women. We're great at multitasking, which makes us consummate leaders and managers and very productive in the workplace, but it's a double-edged sword. But it's that kind of thing. The other thing, this is just a sidebar, I'm going to say this as a doctor, something I do. I mentioned that one of the side effects of this medication is drowsiness or sleepiness, and you're supposed to take it at night before you go to bed. Well, I prescribe this medication to help women sleep. Nothing to do with libido. It is an excellent sleeping aid. It definitely helps you to fall asleep and wake up without a hangover, without being groggy, and without having to take other medication that can be habit-forming, addictive habit-forming, and cause drowsiness in the morning. Difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep is one of the biggest symptoms, or most common symptoms, that women experience during menopause. Difficulty sleeping, low libido, low energy, vaginal dryness, and so forth. So when women are avoidant of sex due to hormonal imbalances and low libido, we avoid all of it, not just the penetration part. We avoid the intimacy, the holding hands, the hugging, because all of that, or any of that, can lead to having sex, and we don't want to have sex, so we push all that away. So as you can imagine, that when a woman is having low libido due to hormonal imbalance during the perimenopause, menopause, or after, it is extremely disruptive to how she feels about herself, how she feels about herself as a woman in the context of a relationship, and how, the nature of her relationship and the longevity of relationship. You don't want to just be roommates as you age and cohabitating together. You want to have vital, intimate, sexually fulfilled lives with your partners. And now we have tools for that, for the pre- and perimenopausal woman. And we also have hormone options like testosterone, which works to increase libido. If you have any other questions about Addyi, the little pink Viagra, the medication that is FDA approved for low libido in pre- and perimenopausal women, or health as it pertains to your sexual health and hormones, is a critical part of who you are as a human being. And it needs to be taken seriously, and it needs to be nurtured, and it needs to be a priority.